Hey guys, we're back with more exciting adventures with members of the Florida Powerboat Club, and this time it is across state lines in Alabama as we revisit the Orange Beach Powerboat Week event, third edition for this event 2022, as we now move into episode 3 with feature coverage of this exciting event, which is hosted by and presented by The Wharf in Orange Beach. Before we get started, let's thank our sponsors. Our 2022 series sponsors include Blackwater Boats and their sister company Deep Impact Custom Boats and their authorized sales center Plantation Boat Mart, Mystic Power Boats, Cigarette Racing Team and their authorized sales center Top Gun Yachts, Cigarette Dealer Chief Marine Group, Midnight Express Power Boats, Big Thunder Marine, Concept Boats, Performance Boat Center, Mercury Racing, and Florida Powerboat Club's longest running sponsor, Nortec High Performance Boats. And very special recognition to these additional sponsors. First of all, the Orange Beach Powerboat Week is presented by The Wharf, and returning for their third year in a row, Allocomp Insurance, Grander Marine, and this year, special guest, the Tops Powerboat Club from Texas are here to join us. So we're getting right into it now as we're flying high over the Perdido Pass here at Orange Beach, Alabama. Look at the color of the water and the conditions today. We have got a perfect day for boating on this Friday. And remember, it's a 2-day format for the poker run here as we go eastbound on Friday, westbound on Saturday. And right now it looks like the boats are milling around getting ready to go out that pass because we're going to get out into those beautiful Gulf Coast waters. What an amazing sight here from up at about 1,000 feet. Looking across all of Orange Beach, Alabama. And now you can believe me when I say this is a boater's paradise, and this place rocks every weekend. And it's another team from Texas kicking off the show. Clark Beecher here in his brand new MTI 390X Team Elgato. Interesting story to share with you about this boat. He took delivery of this new MTI right here at the Orange Beach event, purchased from TNT Marine Sales down in Miami, and Steven Fernandez hauled the boat up and made this event his delivery event. So Clark is really just getting seat time on this 390X for the very first time. Of course, he is a seasoned boater. He's had a lot of boats with the club over the years. Way back when, I remember he had a 37-foot Active Thunder, and since then he moved into a Nortec center console, and this MTI Cat is going to give him those high-speed thrills that he's very much missing. And as always, MTI having a good showing on the roster for most of the FPC events. This time, 7 MTIs registered here on this Orange Beach weekend. And now we're going to catch up with very long-time loyal supporters of the club, Mark and Alana Albert, in this 35-foot fountain, which Mark named after his wife. That's right, Lick Alana Push. You guys figure it out. What's cool about this couple is that they love these panhandle runs. They've been big-time participants at the Emerald Coast event, which is in the fall. But now Mark says that this Orange Beach event is the other half of the Emerald Coast run. I agree. And we see a lot of deep impacts in the club, but very rarely this 36 model. Everybody seems to have the new 399, but Charles Clark is loving his deep impact 36 2016 model with triple 350 Verados, and that is Ferrari red. And yes, indeed, the girls are wearing their Ferrari red bikinis to match. Gotta love that team coordination. This group is from Texas. They came over with the Tops group. His other boat at home is a Cigarette Top Gun. I can understand why he left it at home. He's got a big group today. Let's say hi now to Keith Johnston and his crew and Team Whiskey Business, another team that is joining us from Louisiana, not far away. What I really like about this boat, 2 things. One is that it was originally owned by the late founder of Outer Limits Powerboats, Michael Fiore. The second thing I love is that custom bimini top. Some guys say it doesn't work. I say it does because, first of all, nice to get out of the hot sun because it is so hot every day being on the water. But look at the design, how it picks up the colors and the lines of the boat. I think it's a great design. Nice work. And back to the center consoles. This time it's Mark and Eileen Fisher, our sponsors from Team Deep Impact. They actually had the boat trailered all the way up from their dealer, Plantation Boat Mart in Tavernier, Florida. That's about a 750-mile haul. So nice to have them all the way up here at Orange Beach again. And what a beautiful Deep Impact 399 this is. Quad Mercury Racing 450s. And a very unique model because it's got that forward cabin down below. And that is not paint, that is gel coat in the Nardo Gray, one of the features of this custom-built Deep Impact. Looking across now as we're catching up with another Deep Impact here, Paul Bertucci, Team Beer Money. The same model, a Deep Impact 399, a little bit older version, but one that's been on a lot of poker runs with us. Quad Mercury Verado 350s on this one. And Paul Bertucci at the helm with the FPC girls riding along. He's got his lady, Miss T, who's now, by the way, we've heard, his fiance. So congratulations to Paul and Miss T. They're going to be getting married soon. There's a great look at the boat, and I have had the pleasure of riding around with Paul and Miss T on a lot of these poker runs. And what I love about Paul is he just puts the boat on cruise control. He's never going to be a front runner. He just likes to nail it at about 55 miles per hour so that everybody has a nice smooth ride. And that's what I love about this couple. They just love the boating lifestyle. And they drove the boat here on its own bottom from Biloxi, Mississippi just a couple of days earlier. So they put a lot of hours on this Deep Impact 399 every year. And once again, thanks to Paul for sponsoring our Thursday night Miss Orange Beach Powerboat Week contest. And here's a shot we call the cockpit close-up, and it gives you a shot of that really cool cup holder. It's actually a bottle holder that fits right into a rod holder. This is something that appears to be a fixture on Paul's boat. And there's the money shot, the two of them running together, kind of like a little Deep Impact segment. Three of them registered for the run. Here's the two 399s. Special thanks to Mark and Eileen Fisher from Deep Impact, and also to their dealer, Plantation Boat Mart, for continuing to support the Florida Powerboat Club. And they are moving forward with 2023 series sponsorship once again. So longtime supporters of FPC. And Jackie and I thanking them for giving us a nice ride that day. That's us sitting right up front in the Queen seat. And let's say hi now to Ricardo Chavez, one of our local teams in this 34-foot fountain, Team In Debt. And you notice they've got that big yellow flag flying. That is a safety boat flag that we've issued. And on board with him, his friends, along with our Orange Beach Fire Department Safety Rescue Team, two paramedics with all the necessary gear as they're basically following the poker run and making sure that everything is going smoothly. So thank you so much for your help, guys, on Team In Debt on the 34-foot fountain as our official safety boat for the run. And here we are now catching up to Jim Bates with his 33 Avance center console. And I thought that was cool that this is probably going to get the Classic Boat Award for the event. It's a 1993 33 Avance Cabriolet with, of course, updated power 2020 Merc 300 XS outboards. But I just think it's cool to see a boat like this on the run, a boat that is truly a Miami iconic name in the offshore circles. It was Jim's first time doing this run. It was on his bucket list, so he's happy that he made it, and he said he loves boating in the Orange Beach area. So thanks for making it, Jim. Just an idea of how beautiful and scenic it is here along this Alabama and Florida Gulf Coast. Now we're on the Florida side now as we arrive at Pensacola Beach. You can see all the boats have been turned in now from the Intracoastal Waterway, arriving now at what we call Quiet Waters Bay here at Pensacola Beach, and still a few boats here out on the course. Now what's great about this destination is that it's all protected waters once you get in from the Gulf, and God, what a beautiful day it is too. And we're back on board again with Beer Money 2 as you get an idea of what it's like to ride on one of these center consoles as you're just skimming across the water. Looks like a lot of teams have already arrived here, and we have a good format for the lunch today. Remember, we are up and over 50 boats now, so one of the challenges that we continue to have with these events is trying to find a restaurant that can take that many people all at one time. So we actually have two restaurants on the lunch roster today. One of them is Felix's restaurant, Oyster Bar, we call it, and Flounder's Chowder House, which is just down along the same beach. And both of them have docking, and both of them have a nice sandy beach. So you can get your fenders and lines out like they have done here on Scott Favre's 40 CCX and raft up maybe 5, 6, 7 deep. Then you got to climb over top of all the boats. So as long as you have your sea legs, that's not a big deal. But as I said, you can always anchor the boat in shallow water and jump into waist-deep water so you can wander into the beach. Nice shot of the tunnel here on this 32-foot Doug Wright Cat, Jack Stewart's boat. So we've got some creative videography today as we hand a GoPro to Caitlin and Sandra, who are walking down the dock to hand out poker cards. And if you look off to the right there, you'll see that there's 3 or 4 boats, I think it's the Nortex, that are anchored here in front of Flounders. It was a great lunch, but we're not going to catch any of that. We're going to get back on the waterways as we see Team Toots pulling away from the dock. There's Jack Stewart and his 32-foot Doug Wright. But it was excellent food, and thanks to our lunch stops for taking care of our poker run. Back on the boat with the FPC girls as we're going to get back out on the waterways and head now westbound back to Alabama, but we're not going back to the wharf yet. We're actually going to go back on the Intracoastal and pull into Pirates Cove, which is going to be our final stop for the afternoon. And you'll understand why when we get there. Beautiful day so far. Late in the afternoon now as we reach Pirates Cove, kind of a backwater place that reminds you of being in the Florida Keys. It's been a very popular stopover for us on this event every year. We just had a great lunch in Pensacola. We used 2 locations, the Flounders Chowder House and the all-new Felix's Oyster Bar. Worked out really great. We had a good turnout. I was very happy with the way everything worked out at that lunch stop. Obviously, we need more docking. I think that the take-home from this is that when we tell you to show up with your bathing suits and anchors, we're not kidding. Trust me when I say to you, if you go to Pensacola Beach Boardwalk, you need 2 things. You need an anchor, and you need some swimming trunks so you can jump in the water and wade in that beautiful sand. But here at Pirates Cove, it's the same formula. You've got a lot of dockage here, but it fills up fast when you got a big event. If you're willing to throw an anchor and go off in the sand or beach your boat up around the corner on the backside of the island, that's all you need to do. Get off the boat and come on in and enjoy the famous Bushwhacker. Yes, indeed. That is a drink that's famous here, topped off with a little bit of 151 rum. We want to make sure that everyone knows that Pirates Cove is a very popular place to stop when you're up here in Orange Beach. So let's just sit back and enjoy the scenery as our club members do this really fun stopover at Pirates Cove in Orange Beach. Well, guys, that was a lot of fun, and I think that we can all agree that that is a must-do for any boater that comes here to the Orange Beach area to somehow find your way over here to Pirates Cove. Remember now that it's a Friday afternoon, so it was relatively easy for us to find docking, and we filled up the beach immediately. But can you imagine coming here on a Saturday or a Sunday? It would probably be impossible to get any number of boats, even more than maybe 8 or 10 boats into Pirates Cove, because this place fills up early in the morning and stays full all day long. There we are with our sponsor, Avila Concept Boats, and I do believe he just turned down a cocktail. Well, that's a good job, Eric. I'm proud of you, man. And, of course, that is Octavio and Karen Valdivia's Concept 4400, one of 2 boats they have entered on the run. Thanks again to Concept Boats for being a big sponsor with the club, and to Eric for coming all the way from Miami to join us for this weekend. So just a great stopover, and look at this weather now. Late in the afternoon, it's probably about 4:30 p.m. now. Still have clear blue skies and light winds. Very calm here on the Bay Waters, and a short ride back, probably 5 or 6 miles at the most, to get back to the wharf at Orange Beach. So this has really turned out to be a perfect course with this exciting Friday run that started out with a poker card, went all the way to Pensacola Beach, now wrap things up at Pirates Cove, and then back here at the wharf. So a lot of boating in for the day, and a couple of hours in between before the Friday night festivities begin. And we're doing that back at our party tent here at Heron Point. And the Friday night party sponsored by none other than Octavio and Karen once again. Unitech Body Shop, owners of a 51-foot Outer Limits, as well as that 44 concept we just saw a minute ago. And what I like about these Orange Beach events is that they're all fully catered. And unlike many other events we do with the club, we have an open bar. And that's because we control our own venue. That's a nice format. It's hard to do that on a lot of poker runs, but it really makes for a festive evening. Enjoy the videos on the big screen. And of course, we have music playing all night long. And this is what makes this such a festive poker run. And it really, I think, generates a vibe of camaraderie that you're not going to get on a lot of other poker runs. So many friendships are made. And remember, it's a private setting, so we're all hanging out with each other. And I think that's the magic of these poker runs. We're hanging out with like-minded people who are passionate about the same lifestyle. Fast forward about 12 hours now. It is Saturday morning, and look at the weather. Still beautiful, light winds, blue skies, and moderate temperatures, and probably a few hangovers. I know I had one. But we're going boating again today, guys, remember? So time for another captain's meeting, and that's exactly what we're doing. And I do appreciate that the attendance was strong. And again, we try to make it as attractive as possible by having some breakfast and coffee for everybody. And that gives us enough time to go over the important safety guidelines and more specifically the course itself. Because remember now, we have an entirely different poker run course today, which requires critical navigation, and we have to go over all of the various lunch stops for the day. Down on the docks at the wharf here this Saturday morning, getting things kicked off. Card number one as Team Sango, sponsored by Bent Marine here, the Nortec 452, picks up their first poker card for the day. We've got Serenity and Caitlin here, our FPC girls, doing the task of handing off what is essentially card number 5 out of a total of 7 cards for the game. The wharf here has been a great host for the event. We've had a lot of great parties already. We've got a couple more to go, though. Today's going to be a full day on the water as we head westbound on the Intracoastal, down the Intracoastal Waterway to the Mobile Bay area. We're going to cross over the bay, make our way southbound out into the Gulf of Mexico for a nice ride along the coastal regions, which is about a probably 18 or 19-mile ride up the beach. Not a very long ride today. In fact, we're going to wrap things up by shortly after noon, 12:30, and that's when we're going to split up and go to multiple lunch checkpoints throughout the Orange Beach area. I think there's about 6 or 7 restaurants on today's menu. One of the highlights for us is going to be the sponsor appreciation party at the Favre residence in Orange Beach, and so we're going to spend a little time there later today. So another beautiful day here in Orange Beach, Alabama, as we kick off the 3rd annual Orange Beach Powerboat Week, the final day Saturday as we get out on the waterways. Well, guys, we have got some great sights and sounds here for the next few minutes as we hand off this poker car. So let's let it run raw because we've got some great sounding engines and a lot of fun-loving people.
got some enthusiasm.
High five, girl. The captain there looking pretty sexy today. Hey, right here. There you guys go. All right. Beautiful. So you know where you're going for lunch, right? Right here, Cal. All right, looks good. Captain Mikey. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that segment handing off the poker cards, because it really gives you the vibe and the energy of what's happening right here on the dock. And I think we can thank our FPC girls for that, because they are just so thrilled to be here, and their energy and their excitement is carrying right onto the boats. Here's Octavio again, one of the few teams that has 2 boats registered for the event. We just saw his 44 concept where his wife Karen rides, and here's Octavio and his crew on board this 51-foot outer limit. It's got triple Mercury Racing 700s. And it's another MTI 390X. Craig and Paula Ackerman making it a family weekend on this new MTI for them anyway. Their second one, Mercury Racing 450s, all color coordinated. What a beautiful ride. And that wraps up our poker card segment here from the wharf. We're going to fly now with a different R44. This time it's Hang 10 helicopters in this red R44. And we just got lucky that it worked out, because there's only 2 R44s available in town, and the other one was booked again. So this worked out fine, and flying a full day today again as we join the group. Flying now over the wharf once again. You can see a few of the boats down below just milling around, getting ready for the start. And going to see a little bit of brown, muddy waters today as we head along this intracoastal waterway. Not the prettiest water until we get out into the Gulf, as we now catch up with Jack and Kay Stewart in this 32-foot Doug Wright. I know that they're going to love the conditions today, because we've got some calm water. And now we're going to catch up with Scott Farb and his crew on this Sensation 40 CCX model. Team Never Enough. And we've actually got Scott on board today driving the boat. The day earlier he was away out of town and he couldn't do the run, but his friends wanted to go boating, so he let them use his Sensation. What a good friend, huh? But now Scott's on board today as we make our way westbound on these calm, very calm intracoastal waters. As I said earlier, the color of the water isn't the best here, but certainly the conditions are. And it's only about maybe a 15-minute ride along the intracoastal out to Mobile Bay. So it's important that everybody just keeps in line and doesn't turn that into kind of a hot rod event, because you've got other traffic going up and down the ICW, and you're going to come by a few marinas along the way. So everybody seems to be behaving today as we get the Saturday run kicked off. Let's say hello once again to Stephen and Casey Head in Team Toots. They're not far from home, 250 miles. They live right here in Alabama, and they love this event. They come back every year with this formula. Even though it's an older boat, they keep it running great. Stephen always says it's just an old school boat that is built solid and rides very well. Well, they're riding very well today, because they have about a 1-inch chop to deal with. So it's going to be a smooth ride for everyone today. They said in their video bio, Stu, Jackie, and the FPC staff do an amazing job and provide a well-organized event. And they can't wait until the next one. And for them, well, that'll be the Emerald Coast Powerboat Week Takes place in about 4 months. Remember, we're in May now, and the Emerald Coast event takes place in September. Well, I know how much you guys love the sound of big horsepower, so we're going to crank it up for these next 2 cigarettes. Special thanks to these teams for the great audio and horsepower. That was Stephen Doomer in Team Loose Cannon. And this is Stephen and Lynette Turner from Texas in Miami two-step 38-foot Top Gun. Well, guys, we're going to break away from the aerial footage. We got plenty more in our next episode. But as always, we like to wrap up this episode with more coverage of our Thursday night Miss Powerboat Week contest. And for this segment, it's their personal choice bikini. That's right, guys, freestyle. In the earlier episodes, we started out with cocktail dress. Round 2 was black bikini for all 10 contestants. And for round 3, they get to choose their very lucky bikini. And remember, a lot of these girls are on the contest circuit. They know which bikini has won them contests before, the one they feel most comfortable in. And here we are now with Sandra, and she has chosen a lime green for her bikini tonight on this walkout. And I want to thank these lovely ladies for having the confidence to come out here in a tiny little bikini and stand before what is essentially perfect strangers, all of you. But at the same time, I want to thank all of our Florida Powerboat Club members and the gang from Tops and all of our participants here at this event for being respectful to all of our FPC contestants. And remember that a lot of these girls were not only contestants, but they were here for the entire weekend as our poker card girls and hostessing at events and helping out with poker cards and checkpoints and so on. And I think that all of them would tell you that they can't wait until the next FPC event because you guys have been so friendly to them, and that's a win-win for everybody. And as all of our contestants walk out for the final round, we want to thank our contest organizer, Miss Amber, who did a wonderful job and was here to support us and help us with the event. Well, guys, we're way over the 30-minute mark, and that means that we have entertained you far too much, and that means we're going to save some more great stuff for our final episode number 4 with feature coverage of our 3rd annual Orange Beach Powerboat Week presented by The Wharf. Let's all agree that you guys cannot afford to miss another episode of Powerboating in Paradise with Florida Powerboat Club, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you'll get an update every time a new episode is released. Be sure to check out the website at flpowerboat.com for all of the details about upcoming Poker Run events in 2021, as well as membership information. You can follow us on Facebook at Florida Powerboat Club, and you can follow us on Twitter and on these Instagram pages. Thanks to all of our viewers for your wonderful comments on our page, and you guys know who you are, and I really do appreciate that. But if you have questions or comments you want to direct to me specifically, please use my personal email at stu@flpowerboat.com. I check that daily, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We're going to sign off for now. This is Stu Jones, along with our producer Ryan McCoy, in the Pompano Beach studio. Have fun out there, guys. Be safe on the waterways. Wear your life jackets when the time is right, and always respect your fellow boaters. Bye for now.